Hey Neapolitans, neapolitangal here. Well, you probably already saw this video, but I got looking at it this morning. I did it so late last night that it just turned out so choppy. So I decided to redo it. Now I'm only redoing this portion and then for the commentary at least, and then I will go back and resplice the rehabbing portion itself and me putting the tent up itself. So in this portion, hey Neapolitans, neapolitangal here. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Here, I am going to slide over a bit because I want that nice white door to be background. So we are going to be discussing several products, what I do and don't like about them, and whether you should or should not use them. Okay, so I have a Coleman pop-up Insta Tent 6-person tent. It is used. They do come with, and I'm going to post a picture here, sealing tape, not CEI, but SEA, sealing tape, that makes it waterproof. And the tape, when it was brand new, I didn't get it when it was brand new, but when it was new, you probably couldn't even see the tape. You might be able to see the little edges of the tape. That's all you could see. And over the course of the year, like this is my 3rd year going to use it, but again, it wasn't mine originally. I purchased it from somebody secondhand on Facebook. That tape over time from the tent being rolled up and used is coming off. So fast forward to really over the last year, I've been wanting to buy Coleman tape. And what the Coleman tape is, basically the tape that's peeling off here, is to replace that. Couldn't find it anywhere local and I wanted to buy it local. So I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought this Gear tenacious tape. It's a joke. It is a big joke. This stuff, you could have the cleanest tent in the whole wide world. You could do anything possible you want to do in a tent except for use this stuff and expect it to work. So I bought 2 rolls of that stuff. It was $4.79 and here's the receipt for it. I bought it on Saturday before last. And then that was the 11th. This Saturday, the 18th, that Sunday, the 12th, I returned that tenacious tape and got this. And this is also made by the same company. Both are made by Gear. So it's Gear tenacious tape, but this is the sealing glue that I went back and got. Now that was a much better product. I do recommend it, but I'll show you something else I recommend more. The Gear sealant tape, sealant glue, comes with a brush that you use manually up the seams and down the seams. It also comes with almost looks like a vacuum cleaner connection. You get 1 tube, it's a 1 ounce tube for around $8 a tube. So it's a little expensive. So I returned the 2 rolls of tenacious tape, got 2 1 ounce tubes of the sealant tape, and it barely did half my tent. So I'm like, okay, back to the drawing board. Dick's Sporting Goods is a long ways away from where I live, so what was next? Well, and one of the reviews for the tenacious tape I saw online was a guy said that he used E6000 glue, which I've been using E6000 glue for many, many years, about 9 years really, and it's a great crafting tape. There's only one major problem with E6000 is that the project that I was working on, which was rehabbing my tent, would require me to leave that erected in my garage because I can't, in my neighborhood, there's no putting a tent up outside. None. I would have had to leave that in my garage for 3 solid days, 72 hours curing time, so it wasn't happening. So what did I do? I actually went to Walmart looking to buy E6000, and then I remembered, oh yeah, 72 hours isn't gonna work. So I bought a bottle of, when did I buy that? I bought it on Saturday afternoon this week. Went to Walmart for a few things for kind of not really a cookout we were having, but I was doing steaks on the grill, and picked up a bottle, a 3.75 ounce bottle of Gorilla Glue for about the same price as I paid for those 2 1-ounce tubes of the Gatorade sealant glue. So, and I brought it home. Now I will tell you, the Gatorade sealant glue, you absolutely must either use it outside with tons of ventilation, or definitely put a floor fan in the area that you are working, because I will tell you, it about put me on the floor when I was using this stuff. It was so strong. So, I mean, I only used it for a total of about 5 minutes, and I was already feeling woozy. I had to get up, get out of the garage. I went and walked over to the mailbox, got the mail, come back, had a drink on both ends of that, cold drink, and then my son was snoozing, so I went and hijacked his floor fan out of his room. I put it right next to where I was working in the tent, and wow, what a difference. But that stuff stinks to high heaven. So let's flash forward to this. This is the Gorilla Glue. This is actually the Walmart listing off my Apple iPhone, showing you how much I paid for that glue. It's clear, dries. It's supposed to dry in 12 to 24 hours. However, now you all know I live in Southwest Florida. It's practically 100% humidity daily. It is in the middle high 90s daily right now because it is summertime. So on the back side of the package for Gorilla, well, back side of the bottle, but I couldn't hardly read it, it says that the hotter and more humid, the faster it cures. So I put it on around 10:45 is when I finished up the gluing of the remainder of the tent that needed to be done, and then took a shower, went up to, oh, I gotta tell you a funny story, but then I went up to North Fort Myers, which is about 45-minute drive from here, hung out with my friend for several hours. We went shopping for a few things for the camping trip, and then came back, and gosh, it was probably close to 6 o'clock Sunday night when I took the tent down because the Gorilla Glue was dry, because it had been in my sealed up garage, 90 plus degrees in there, and super humid. Oh, and I left the fan running. I forgot to turn the fan off. So I had the fan running the whole time in the garage, being humid and hot, and I was able to take the tent down and roll it up and put it away. Now, if you do not live in a super hot, humid area, if you end up using Gorilla Glue for that, I would probably suggest leaving it up for the full amount of time. But if you do wind up having the same type of temperatures and humidity as we do, great. So I put the glue and stuff on. Now before I took it down, I did make sure it wasn't tacky any longer, and I also poured bottled water on the areas I had glued and I knew would leak and had been leaking. This included, I did it for both sections. No leaks, which is awesome. So I am going to take you out to my garage now, and unfortunately it's super, super dark when I'm first putting my tent up, but then when the colors of the tent work their way in, you can see me a little better. I'm going to show you just a little bit of my putting the glue on the tent. I'm going to show you what I'm using. Did I show you the Gorilla Glue in that? I don't think I showed you the bottle of Gorilla Glue that I was using in it. What I wound up doing is using a pair of rubber gloves and squirting the glue on my gloves from the Gorilla Glue and smoothing it onto the seams, and made sure that I went out. I had about an inch swatch all the way through, so it worked out really well. Well, today's video is going to be part 1 of my 5 to 6 video series of my getting ready to go camping here in a couple of weeks. This video will probably be put up, this is Saturday, it's probably put up late Sunday or early Monday the 20th, somewhere in there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put up my Coleman tent. Then I'm going to bring you inside the tent while I seal up the seams and things. And then tomorrow, a friend is going to come down and help me. She's not going to realize that the camera's rolling, but she's going to come down and help me put up the red screen in. And it's red on top. It's got a screen goes down the bottom with a zipper in the middle. more or less it's meant to go over a picnic table, or what we're actually going to use it for this year is we have a large group of people going camping, is we're actually going to use it to put up, keep the bugs out, and we'll set all of our camp chairs up inside of it so we can all sit and chit chat and not get eaten alive. So I am going to show you the tent I'm going to put up, and then I'm going to fast forward this because you don't want to see me putting this together. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show me putting this together. It should take me less than 5 minutes to put it up. So I am going to fast forward it for you. Now, this is this is a Coleman 10-foot by 9-foot instant tent, 6-person. Theoretically, I guess if you're going to sleep in sleeping bags, yes, you can get 6 people in this. If you're going to use air mattresses, 3 max. And that's just because there's just not enough room in it otherwise. Sorry, I just killed a little spider. I thought I killed a little spider, there we go. All right, so let's fast forward, then I'll bring you inside. Okay, as you can see, that was pretty simple putting it up. It took me 2 minutes, maybe 3 to put it up. I love this tent. But unfortunately, this tent does have some problems. So I should say I did not buy this brand new. Because I did not purchase this brand new, she does have some issues. And the issues really are not that great. Structurally, she's very sound. What the issues we do have are that because it is an older tent, sorry, you can't see me on camera here, but because it is an older tent, its seams have come undone. Not seams, I'm sorry. Because it is an older tent, I'm going to take you inside and show you. But because it is an older tent, it's like here on the inside, there's tape that protects it from the water coming in. A lot of those are not viable any longer. So I'm going to run inside and grab the glue real fast, and I'm going to take you guys right inside the tent so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to grab the glue, grab an extension cord, and I'll be right back. Alright, so earlier in the video, you guys saw me in my vanity area talking about the tenacious tape I had bought and how it don't work. Took it back, and the same company makes a sealant and adhesive. And what you can do is, let's say you have a tear in a piece of equipment that's vinyl or nylon or something like that, you can use this to adhere it back to itself. Also with tents, where the tenacious tape is coming off here, I'm supposed to be able to take and brush this stuff on right onto the seams, and it is supposed to re-waterproof my tent. Now, as I'm looking around my tent, I'm having a lot of this issue, and the majority of it, I may wind up having to go get another tube of this stuff. I may wind up just going to Walmart and getting some E6000. I don't know. But I also have a couple of pinholes in the tarp floor of my tent that I'm also going to seal up with this stuff. So The absolute best thing you could possibly do when you first start using this stuff on a tent is make sure your windows are open. I have all 3 windows and my door open. It's fairly breezy out, so I don't think I'm going to have a fume issue, but make sure you don't have fume issues. I actually have a pack of this already open, so what I'm going to do is in the seams that I actually started peeling off last weekend, that's where I'm going to start sealing up. And I will try and aim my camera the best I can towards each seam. And just like putting up the tent, I am going to fast forward for you guys, so it'll be in super fast time, just so that you don't have to watch me do this. And then this stuff is supposed to take 8 to 12 hours to cure, which means we won't be using the garage tonight. But that's okay. This needs to be done, and Florida weather's too unpredictable to not do this in the garage, really. And I don't live in a neighborhood where I can pitch this thing out back. So let me grab the tube that's open, and I will aim you towards the right-hand side of my door. And we're going to start going up the roof and see what happens. Okay, so this is called Seam Grip, and then it has a little protective thing in it. The cap comes with one of those pokey things. I don't know if you can see it, there you go. So I'm just going to poke this, and then I'm guessing what I'm supposed to do, you get a little bit, it comes out the top from the pressure. What you're supposed to do is put this guy on the top, and now it's supposed to come out here, and then you got a little brush like this to smooth everything on. So we are going to start over here by the door and see. Okay, so as you can see, I've got all the tape off of that seam. I've got it off all the way down and all the way up to the pinnacle of the tent. So we're going to start with that. Let's see how this stuff works. I almost want to take this tip off and just use the tube itself, so I think I'm going to do that, really. So yeah, I'm going to take the tip off, make that brush off, and I took the tape off all the way down to here, so I'm just going to squeeze this stuff out. Ooh-wee. Glad I have the doors open and the windows. I would say probably a good idea to stick with a single run, and then a little too much. I would say stick with a single run, and then go someplace else. Don't know how this stuff is supposed to be. I think it's on your skin. Try and get that off as much as possible. So, off that bubble. It's really quite warm out here, so. Good morning, Neapol fans. Neapolitangal here. Well, we are going to test the seams I glued yesterday and see if the water is going to seep through. And then we're using a different glue today. I ran out of that stuff, and it's expensive. It's about $8 a small tube. So I decided to go buy me a 3.75 ounce tube of Gorilla Glue instead. So we're going to pour water on that seam from the outside and see if it seeps in. Now, obviously, the nylon itself should show some seepage, but the water won't get in, and as long as the glue is doing its job, there shouldn't be any leakage, at least. So put this directly on and see what happens. Perfect. All right, so that glue is good. I'm going to try some, I believe I glued that seam. Okay, so we are going to try this seam up here and see what we come up with. Okay. Try as a baby's bottom. All right. So yesterday, let me zoom out and put my water bottle down. So yesterday, I did this side all the way up to the pinnacle of the roof. I did down around that window. I had tape below that area. It seems to be perfectly fine, so I left it alone. I did around that window. I actually have to open that zipper. I did get some glue on it yesterday. And I did down near this tech pocket. Today, I'm going to finish up real fast. I'm going to go, where's my hand? There's my hand. I'm going to go these seams here, up, and around, as much and as fast as possible, really, because I've got things to do today. So I want to get this done early before it got too hot out. This is South Florida, so we should be hitting 95 in a few hours. So don't want to have that happen. So I am going to get to work, and I'll be back for my final thoughts. Okay, guys. That was probably super awkward. What I did is I just sliced it, and these are my final thoughts. If you're just playing catch up, I rehabbed a tent over the weekend, a nice Coleman tent. It's a little bit older, but it's still got a lot of life in it. I am going camping in a few weeks, and my tent needed some work. I'm not one of those people who will throw things away just because it needs a little bit of work. No, it's like getting rid of a car that needs a little bit of work. If you can afford the work, do the work, right? So I rehabbed the tent as you watched here. Yes, I'm an outdoors person. I love outdoors. I love to go fishing. I love to camp. I love to hike. It's just me. I was raised in Florida. I was raised, and I was born in basically the boondocks of Florida, Geneva, Florida. I lived in Bonita Springs, Florida for a very long time. We moved to Naples in 93. Well, I moved to Bonita Springs in 86, Naples in 93, and I've been here ever since. We've been in this area since 1986, but we didn't come very far again. Geneva's just a few hours drive north. But I do like the outdoors. I like being able to show my son how to be an outdoorsy person. My husband's not an outdoors person, so it's up to me to show my son these things. And we've really got into camping the last couple of years, and I just want to make sure that this is probably one of his last couple of camping trips with me before he's an adult. And I just want to make sure that we have a good time and not get wet. And that's why I did this rehab on my tent. And that's why I'm also showing you as I'm going through and telling you about these products so you don't make the same mistakes. Luckily, stuff's returnable, so if you do buy the wrong stuff, it's good that you can actually go back and get rid of it. And it should have been a real big hint to me for this stuff that if the store associates didn't know what the hell it was, it should have been a big clue to me that it was probably no good. So you live and you learn. And when I returned this tape, this glue was hanging on a clip strip, and I actually had seen it the day before and knew exactly what I was looking for when I went back. So that's when I got this stuff. Both are by the same company, see, Gear Aid and Gear Aid. That tenacious tape isn't worth it. You might seal up a package with it, but that's all you're sealing up. The Gear Aid sealant glue, on the other hand, fantastic, but not for the price. For the price, go buy you a 3.75 ounce bottle of clear Gorilla Glue instead. It'll do the exact same job. You'll end up with 4 times as much for the same price, and you won't get knocked over by the fumes. Okay, so that is my final thoughts. These are my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I really do apologize for how horrible the first run of this video was. I put it together way too late and set it to drop at 7 o'clock this morning because I did it at like 12:30 last night. By the time it was all done rendering, and I watched it on the way to work, I'm like, ugh. So I'm going back, and I've gone back and I've redone it, and that's why you're seeing this. So, all right, guys, thanks. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell for notifications. Come on, get my subscribers up there. I gotta go. Bye.